Let's have ourselves a dandy little show. Oh yeah, the polls are working, baby. You know the polls are working. Look at this, a beautiful thing. Did we bottom in the SPY? The S&P 500 question mark? Yes, we hit a bottom, or no? There is more to come. I'm curious to what y'all think. We're getting set up right now. I see we got a few waiting and ready. You just give me a few minutes and I will be ready for you, baby. All right. I can hear me. I can hear my beautiful, beautiful voice. It looks like we are up and running. We just got a few minutes before we start, ladies and gentlemen, and boy, this should be action-packed. It should be pumped, ready to rock, baby. We're going to learn a little something. We're going to go over what happened this week in the overall market. We have some economic data. We got a little bit of this, a little bit of that ready for you, but just wait. Be patient with me. Be patient. We got 3 minutes until we start, ladies and gentlemen, but we have a nice soft opening for you. So while you wait, please vote on the poll. I'm curious what everybody thinks. Have we hit rock bottom and now there's only one way up? The S&P 500 is in rehab after they hit rock bottom and it's going to continue higher. Yes, we hit rock bottom. Or no, there is more pain to come. We will see very soon. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we only have 2 minutes until we start. I already see Dan Bob's in here. B Stewie's in here. I'm seeing the love, baby. Oh, damn Yankees in here too, baby. Let's go. Yeah, it is a little one-sided tonight, Yankee, for sure, for sure. We are going to have an awesome show tonight. Let's let everybody get in here. Well, we got 2 minutes left until this baby's gonna get going. So, Mo Wealth's in here. Gang, gang, Mo Wealth. Mo Wealth, I hope you stay around to the end. I would love to get your watch list. We got a lot to go over. Covey, the man, the myth, the legend is in here. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes, guys. Hype, 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 hype. Need a sip. I had to water down my energy drink today. Boy, I'm getting the shakes. No, I'm only kidding. But I am. Not kidding. Not kidding. A little bit of shaky. I hope you guys are ready for an amazing night. We got Mo Wealth in here too, so gang, gang, baby. Let's do this, guys. You ready? I know I'm ready. We got about 1 minute, less than 1 minute to go, and we are gonna get it. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. We had such a good show on Sunday. It's getting me going. Jimmy is in the Mickey Ficky building, baby. Let's go. Jimmy's only got 3 years left to go. I'm pumped for Jimmy. Oh, yeah. Here we go. The calm before the storm. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. And ladies and gentlemen, it is 9 o'clock. Let's get it. $1,400 in less than 2 hours. All right, and here we are, baby. It feels good to be in front of you. Yes, sirree, I even wore the collared shirt for you today, baby. We already got 11 of you in here. We got 9 votes. What are you waiting for? Vote on the poll, baby. Did we bottom in the SPY? That's the real question. Did we bottom? Is that the V-shaped bottom that everybody wants to see? Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. What am I doing? Let me get the greatest charting platform up alive and throw the S&P 500 up on here for you. Well, look at this beautiful, beautiful pullback, guys. This is why when we see that we're below a 21-day moving average, we are cleaning our hands. We are hands off. We don't want any of that red dead redemption on us. Okay, let's see who is in the chat. We got Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive. Hands down. No arguing with that one. I don't give a shit. You don't have to have a crystal ball to know he is the greatest moderator alive. Dan, Bob, nothing but love for you, brother. Beef Stewie, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in here. And he just said, I wish I had a crystal ball with a bowl in it. You know what? It's funny that you say that. A good friend of mine did give me a crystal ball with a bowl in it. But right now, it looks like the Bears are coming after it. We got London on the track. Damn Yankee. Darn Yankee. What's going on, bro? It's good to see you. Yeah, it is a little one-sided. The vote is a little one-sided tonight. We got Mo Wealth. Mo Wealth is in the building, baby. It's good to see you, Mo Wealth, and I am excited to get your watch list tonight, as well as Covey's once we get to that section today. We also have my man, your man, the myth, the legend, Covey is in the building. Jimmy Bright, what's going on, brother? Dude, Jimmy, every time I see your name, I think you got 3 years left to go. Congratulations, brother. Let me just tell you early, and you're probably going to hear it from me over and over and over again. Retirement is an amazing thing, and a lot of us don't make it there. I'm glad to see that you are looking into your bright future by learning how to trade and sticking with it, right? So good to see you. We got Michelle Brandon Garrett. It's good to see you, Michelle Brandon Garrett. Do I say the whole name, Michelle Brandon Garrett, the whole time? We'll see. We'll see how that rolls off the tongue. We got Kevo Papan. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you, brother. Let's go. Mo Well says, I'm in it to the end tonight. Good. I'm glad, brother. Covey says, wow. Wow, with a capital W. Nice intro, Kevo. Thank you very much. Yeah, we actually just got that up and running. Jolene. Yes, it is so good to see you. Now we got a party. Now we are popping, baby. Let me show there we go. So that way I can move around a little bit for you guys. All right, so what do we have in store? Well, first and foremost, we are going to go over the S&P 500, the QQQs, and of course, yours truly, the IWM, the small cap. Of course, we can go over the mid cap too, but the biggest question is, where's the bottom? Where the f is the bottom, guys? When we look at this thing, we're thinking, whoa. That's right, baby. But there is one thing that I love to point out, is that when we seen it break that 21-day moving average, we were risk off, baby. And there's a reason for it. If we look back in time, you can clearly see the times to be risk off was when we broke that 21-day moving average. We can come all the way back down to the October lows, all the way back here in 2023, right before we started to rip, tater, chip after these October lows, back all the way back here in 2022, guys. This was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Every time we get a running, a ripping, a chipping, a tater, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. When we break this 21-day moving average, we are risk off for a reason. We get these huge pullbacks, these huge bloody sell-off, and there's a reason why we stay out of it. When we get on these bull runs and we stay up and above and away we go, we use that 21-day moving average as a pullback and a bounce. And you can see this is a bouncy ball, boing, 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 right up that 21-day moving average. When we break through, I warned you, don't tell me I didn't warn you, but breaking below this 21-day moving average, I saved a ton of money calling my financial advisor and saying, hey, I'm out. Hey, I'm in. Hey, I'm out. And then we get the 6-day bloody sell-off, and then I didn't get back in till about right here. I was a little late on that one, but A-OK. We actually played this $500 bounce in the swing trading account, but the longer term, the big account, when I called the financial advisor, I waited. I wanted to get it pulled back to the 10-day moving average. We didn't see it, but we keep on heading higher. Look at this. We never closed below a 21-day moving average. We stayed above it, so we continued to play and make some money. This here, big pullback. We didn't see much setups up here. Covey, your boy, your man, the myth, the legend, on that Monday, he was calling last week, hey, this is all looking fine and dandy, but I don't trust this market. Why? He wasn't seeing those setups, nor was I, and we all can agree, below a 21-day moving average, none of us were having fun. Even on this pop, we even said there's no setups. I didn't even come out with a daily watch list because there was such lack of setups. I didn't even want to look at the market, but of course we are always here, ready, and we are studying. So that's exactly what we did. Now we are pulling back, and we are below a 50-day moving average as of yesterday. Wednesday was a huge, huge pullback. They say that these days are rare because we don't see this size of a pullback very often, as we pull back 1.61%. 1.61%. That is almost double your average daily range in the S&P 500. Then today, we got a nice little V-shaped bounce here. If we look here on the hourly, you can see a pretty little V-shaped bounce that we had, and then this thing sold right back off. Right here's that V-shaped bounce. Boing, bounced right back up, sold right back off, and now we're right back down at those daily lows. Right back down there, guys. And the question here is, well, do we head lower? A lot of you are saying yes. Let me take a little peeky gander at the poll right here. Yeah, you got 12 votes on this thing, and 92% say no, there is more pain to come, and 8% say yes, we've hit a bottom. Now, of course, I'm always rooting for that S&P 500. Of course, I want to see this thing rip, rip, tater, chip to the north side because we all want to be able to be risk on. We all want to find those setups in the overall market, but still not seeing them. We still might have pain. And where is the money rolling into? Well, we know that the consumer staples is doing well. We know that utilities is doing well. We know that there's some money rolling into small caps, right? The small cap stocks. And what else? The health. We know that health is doing well, okay? Communications isn't doing so well, but the one trade that we actually are still holding while we were still risk on Wednesday is still doing well. That is ASTS, and we'll go over that very, very soon. I want to humble brag there for a little bit, only because we know that a couple of us are still in it. Shout out to you, Beef Stewie and Jolene, my girl, your friend. Let's do this, guys. So the S&P 500, we are still risk off, very clear as day, below a 50-day moving average. Where might this thing slow? Well, one of my predictions just using technical analysis is all the way back here at 523. Now, I hope we don't come back down to there. We do have some support here at 530, but we have a lot of support right here at this 523. This was that big basing area, that V-shaped bottom that we were hoping we could start to get moving here at the 50-day moving average, but we're not seeing it. So how low can she go? That's the question. And or is this the recession fears? Do we head on lower? Well, either way, we're going to keep a very close eye on the overall market because we want to know where it is headed. Let's take a look at the QQQs. Now, we remember the QQQs led this market to the north side. It led and it drug up the S&P 500. It drug it right up there with it, and now it is leading it to the sell side. Why do I say that? Look how much further below this 50-day moving averages. Not to mention these 10 and 21-day exponential moving averages are heading much, much lower, much, much faster. That's a scary sight. That is a scary sight to see when they are just sloping straight down. Now, where is this thing going to fall? Nobody knows. But I'll tell you this, when we start to see new lower highs, we will be risk on. And when we are risk on, well, watch out, because that's when the setups show up. That's when we start making that money. Thank you so much, Kobe, for posting that in the announcement sections. If you guys don't know, or you're just joining me for the first time, welcome to the show. We do a little bit of everything, but if you want to be a part of the squad, because I know 90% of you that are talking right now are already in the squad, we have a Discord. Everything's free here. Join the Discord, and if you want a part of this beautiful chat, or get in the Discord, or find me on Facebook, or this or that, you can find it all in my link tree. Check the description down below. Even if you're watching this at a later time, check the description down below. Click that link tree, and you can get $15 off your subscription to TraderView. It's absolutely free, but if you want to upgrade to that essential plan, this charting platform is amazing. And we actually have in our YouTube a swing trader school that shows you exactly how we set up our platform so you can find the relative strength, the average daily range, and all the moving averages for you. We teach you how to do it all. It's absolutely free. It's banger, baby. So just do it, baby. So as we are talking about it, let me just bring up my screen right here. I'll just show you guys really quick. Oh, check it out. Dan Bob Dan, the greatest moderator live, once again has you right here, the link tree. Make sure you click this live button here, guys, so that way you stay up to date. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's see how many likes that we are up to today. Whoop, whoop, we got 12, but 17 watching. What the hell are you waiting for? While you do the like button, just do it, baby. Click that link tree. It'll bring you right here. You can see it. YouTube, Discord, TradingView, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. All said in one breath. Beautiful. Now, let's move on, baby, because the one thing I want to see is the IWM. This is the small caps. Why do we look at the small caps? Well, look at this. Rip, Rip, tater chip to the north side, baby. What do we want to look at IWM for? Well, it's pretty damn simple. Where is the money going to? As everything pulls back, the IWM decides to break out on its own. It's on its own expedition. It's on its own fiery flame. This thing is just rocking to the north side. It looks absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. B Stewie, you know what? We'll go over the dollar. We'll go over all the Mag 7 stocks and the dollar, so that way we can get a better idea, and the VIX Volatility Index today. Okay, we will do all of that. Just remind me in case I don't see that. Charles Garrett says no pain, no gain. That's right, baby. No pain, no gain. Let me catch up on the chat. Let's see the intro again. You want to see the intro again? You'll have to wait till the next one on Sunday, baby. Hello there. Risk off. Yeah, B2B's risk off switched from Michael Brandon to this account, Charles Garrett. Well, I hope I got both subscriptions, brother. Let's do this. Congrats, Jolene. Yeah, baby. Jolene. Let's see. I love how the IWM. Yeah, me too, Dan Bob. The IWM is very, very interesting in this area. You know, it's really starting to show that flag pattern that we like. It's also, you know, if I didn't see that this was the IWM, if I didn't know that this was the IWM, I would say, we're definitely liking the look of this pattern, right? This is starting to surf the 10-day moving average. We want to see it get tighter here and then break this trend break to the north side. Look at the volume too. Now we're starting to get volume dry up. If we didn't know that this was the Russell 2000, if we didn't realize that that average daily range was 1.73%, if we knew that this thing moved over 4%, we would say put this thing on your watch list because it is looking good. You know, it is looking good. So yeah, I definitely agree, Dan Bob, with the way the IWM is looking. Let's see, Nalani, what's going on, dude? Where's there fear, there is opportunity. Nalani, you couldn't have said it any better than that. Where there is fear, there is opportunity. The thing is, we don't want to catch falling knives. We want to make sure we wait for the right setup. So as everyone starts that fear and the volatility index starts to rise, that's when we hone in. This is where we learn to trade. We start learning different ways to trade, but we do it on very, very, very small risk, okay? Well, we are waiting for our setups and we're waiting for things. We're watching, we're waiting. We're like the lion in the tall grass. We're the sniper in the building. We're whatever analogy or simile or symbolic attribute you want to put towards what we're saying. You can be whatever animal you want, okay? You can be whatever warrior you want. But whatever it is, I hope they're patient. I hope they're waiting and they're ready to absolutely annihilate this market once it's done being a bear, okay? Let's see. Yankee says, don't forget to hit the like button. Hey, what up now? Yeah, the more likes, comments on here, the more it will boost the algorithm. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. Let's see here. B. Stewie says, hey, Dave, how's it? Yeah, okay, my bad. I think I've caught up now. I think I've caught up. Garrett, thank you for liking. I appreciate you. All right, guys, let's do this. Mo Wealth says, XBI, you got to talk about XBI. Talk about a disrespectful sector. All right, we'll take a look at XBI after this. All right, so IWM, yeah, this thing is looking beautiful. We called this trend break, and I always say this, and I got to say it one more time. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but we called this move. I said I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, but we knew it was going to move because this is what the stock market does. Expansion, contraction. What happens when we get tight? We have to expand again. I just got so damn lucky. I said, look, I think by Friday this thing is going to go one way or the other, and I expect it to go higher because it has been in a lull for so long. I said, just bear with me here, guys. I think by Friday. And sure enough, we got it. I believe that was a Wednesday. I don't really remember. You guys can look back. But this thing got to ripping. And man, I was up on a roof actually. And I remember Muley messaged me. She said, this thing is going. It is going nutso. And yeah, sure enough, here we are. And it looks absolutely beautiful. As you can see, holding a 10-day moving average. Well, the overall market is pulling back yesterday. It held most of its gains. As it pulled back today, it's holding most of its gains. I mean, guys, this is a huge bullish sign. As long as this can continue to hold, if the overall market starts to loop up higher, IWM's off to the races, okay? It's off to the races. Look at this dry up. It's starting to dry up, this volume down here. It's beautiful. I love it. You love it. You should keep an eye on IWM and all the small cap gappers, all right? So, I want to make sure that we go through the Mag 7. So let's look at NVIDIA right now, because NVIDIA led this market to the north side, right? Out of all the stocks, this was the absolute leader, guys. So we're going to go through the Mag 7. We'll go through the stocks that I'm in currently. I'm only in 2 right now. And then we will go over the watch list. We'll go over what you guys want to watch, okay? So once we get through this, I'll ask for you to throw up on the chat, throw it up, regurgitate it, throw that just everywhere, and let me know, what the hell are you looking at? What do you want to see? What the hell are you looking at? Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll start actually with NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA is looking really bad here because we're below all the moving averages and it does not have any support in this area. So it's kind of just lingering around like some smelly breath. We want to get rid of this. We want to know which direction it's going to hold. Maybe it finds some support down here. Maybe it bounces a few times, but will this continue to head higher in this area? I don't know. I mean, this is a lot of volume to the sell side, guys. You know, I don't have any respect for this stock at this point in time. Of course, sure, this thing could really, you know, get some legs. It could start moving, but until we see new lower highs, until we see this thing get up above those moving averages and start to show proof of concept, I'm thinking this trade might be over for me. We made quite a bit of money in this. I could see this thing being over with, okay? So that is NVIDIA. Let's take a look at MSoft, the old softy, the softest one. Also pulling back well below all the moving averages here. Look at all the way back down, back into where it needs to find some support once again. You can see we had this long area, this long sideways action here. Wow, I got a lot of goofy crap up on this thing. Let me just get rid of all that so you can see this a little better here. This is price action, baby. That's all we need to see. Right here, you can see this big area right here. This is all support, guys. It's gonna be supported in this area. So we got a big pullback the past 2 days. Now it's in an area of support. If we don't find some support here, we are gonna head lower. But with all of this movement, this seems to be the biggest area of support. If we break through this, its next area is going to be that psychological and technical area of 400. Below that is going to be 375, okay? If we can't hold here and at least trade sideways, I think we're going to head lower for Microsoft. So we'll see very, very soon. We also have Meta. Okay, so now Meta, I remember Meta actually started off weak. Meta was actually weaker than the rest, as instead of making new all-time highs, now it did, don't get me wrong, but it didn't do it like the rest of the stocks. It was trading sideways for an awfully long time, and then when it did make a new all-time high, it sold off, and it sold off hard. Now, look at this. There's a big gap here. That means there wasn't much liquidity. With this gap could come failure. This thing could free fall here. Okay, so keep an eye on Meta. I don't think that unless it holds in this area, like it literally needs to hold this area right here, right now, or we are just going to free fall at least down to that $400 area because it is a psychological area. As you can see, that psychological area is a big area because when we hit that $400 area and we went higher than it, you can see that it gapped up. It gapped up and it gapped up quick. It didn't open up the next day until $451. I'm sorry. Yeah, $451. So that's a psychological level on Meta. Make sure you understand that. Now, these aren't stocks that I move, but these are stocks that move the market. If you look at the heat map, you can see Meta is a big component in the technology services. Microsoft, Google, Apple, NVIDIA, AVGO, AMD, Amazon, Walmart, these LLY, these are the stocks that are moving the market. If you keep an eye on these and these look weak, then you can best get the overall market, like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, are going to pull back. They're going to head lower. Okay? So keep that in mind. That's why we look at all these. All right? All right, so Meta right here. This might be a good short at 450 if this thing wants to continue to fail. Now, because we've had 2 major pullback days, we might get a little bounce before that happens, but I'm actually going to keep this on my watch list in case I want to short a little something, but because I don't have a proven data strategy to back up my shorts, it's got to be on super small share size. I am risk off. Don't get me wrong, guys. I am risk off. When I say I'm risk off, that means I'm not taking full size into anything. Okay, I'm not going 1%. I'm actually only 1% of my account for a short, or I'm sorry, 1% of my account for a risk. I would use like 0.25 or even lower than that, 0.10% of my account. taking really, really small share size to gather data to better understand these breaks, these gap fills, these different trend patterns, or even small caps, okay? So keep that in mind. When I say we're risk off, that means I don't have much on the table. I don't have much on the table. I'm waiting. Okay? All right, let's continue on. What else? We got, we did NVIDIA, Microsoft, we did Meta. What else we got? Apple, AAPL. So let's take a look at Apple. All right, so Apple was holding up pretty well. You can see here we had a pullback. We're at an area of support here. All right, and Apple was just, I remember since earnings. So we had earnings what day? Where was earnings? It's not showing me on this. Oh, that's because I got everything turned off. Here, let me turn this baby back on, shall we? All right, so Apple held up pretty well. We're still above the 50-day moving average. If you guys remember when earnings came out, they surprised everyone with their earnings. We had a nice gap up here, some sideways action, and then it made this beautiful base. Not much of a handle, but then it started to head higher on volume, a pullback to ride that 10-day moving average. So Apple held up very well compared to the overall market. And it looks like we got a new subscriber. Yeah, it says name supports David Worrell. I'll have to upload, I'll have to fix that. But hey, I'm working out the kinks. This boomer's doing his best. But thank you for your subscription. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, so now we're sitting at 217 right now, just below that 21-day moving average. So that's not looking too good for Apple for me. Its next area of support is going to be that 50-day moving average. So keep that in mind, guys. Apple is also pulling back. We're seeing some support here at that 220, but if it pulls back any further, I think the next area is going to be that 50-day moving average. Nalani, thank you on that. Google, G-O-O-G-L, baby. Apple. I'm sorry, not Apple, but Alphabet for Google. Look at this free fall right here. 2 bloody days on this sell-off, and it looks like we have a small gap to fill right here because of earnings. So earnings did well. It gapped up. It was holding this 21-day moving average so well. Now look, this thing not only pulled back to its 50 and had a small bounce, but then this thing came out on earnings, gapped down, and didn't even have a retracement. This thing bounced very, very small off the 50. Earnings came out, and now it's having that colonoscopy. It's failing right here, guys, and that's very, very dangerous for Google because this thing could definitely pull back all the way back down here to at least 155. It's showing support down here right before that breakout on earnings, so let's be very, very careful. All right, let me catch up on chat, and then I got to remember what other Mag 7 we need to go through. Let's see here. Small caps for the win. Yeah, baby. Small caps for the win. GTN keeps going higher and higher. Michael, keep that on the list because we're going to have everybody reach out and we're going to go through what everybody wants to. Moaz, what's going on? I don't think I'm saying that right. Hi, hello. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. Let's see. Good. Okay, Kovi's already got his list out there. We got a few more things that we need to go over. And if I missed any of the Mag 7 or anything that you want me to take a look at, you can post it in the chat right now. We are going to go over the dollar. So DXY. We're going to go over the dollar right now. And we're going to see what is going on. What's going on? So the dollar usually has an inverse correlation, meaning if the dollar decides that it wants to head higher, that usually means the market is going to head lower. At least that is how that correlation has been for quite some time. Now, we aren't seeing that correlation currently right now as the dollar still is just trading sideways. I know all the way back here, I stopped watching the dollar after a while. After we had this big pullback, we moved around like this. We had this big pullback here, and then we started to rise up here. We kind of like lost disconnect here with the S&P 500. Okay, we're not seeing that correlation so much, but the dollar is just trading sideways, so nothing too crazy. A lot of the times, if we have a horrible fear in the overall market, people use the U.S. dollar as a safety hedge against their portfolios. So if the dollar usually is going up, that's usually because there's fear and there is a big bear market coming. And, you know, if we get further pullback or further retracement and you don't see money going into things like the IWM and small caps, you might see the dollar continue to go up higher. Now, we could argue and say, well, we are kind of on a, an uptrend here, but we also need to keep in mind that we have this area right here. that we know is an area of resistance. Now, we can also look at this and say, well, it's getting tighter, Dave. This thing might get too tight, and then, of course, lead to expansion again, because we have an expansion, a pullback. Now we're getting that contraction, and that could very well be. We know that things like to expand, contract, and then expand again. The thing is, with the crystal ball that we have here, ladies and gentlemen, it does not tell me the direction. Okay, so this expansion and contraction, you're going to have to keep an eye on this. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this. So thank you so much, Beef Stewie, for bringing this up, because we might want to start keeping an eye on that dollar as it is having some tightening areas here. Maybe within the next month or two, we might get a very certain direction out of which way this wants to go. Okay, now let's look at that VIX volatility index, and as you guys know, this is what I consider my fear gauge. Okay, this is a fear gauge, and we know that we want to keep this thing low. The last time that we were up here was the tensions in the Middle East, and we're getting back up there again, guys. So let's be very, very careful. We don't want to see this VIX volatility go any higher, because when it does, that shows a lot of fear in the overall market, and when we get a lot of fear, that thing pulls back, and it pulls back. The overall S&P 500 will pull back, and it'll pull back hard, because when there's fear in the market, there is selling in the overall market. Okay. Oh, Moaz, holy diver! I didn't know that was you, brother. Hey, man, good to see ya. Mayos, am I saying it right? Holy diver, is it Mayos? I hope it's Mayos. Anyway, that's Holy Diver, guys. Good to see you in here, brother. I'm glad you made it. All right, I see we got plenty to look at. Oh my gosh, this is great. You guys are awesome, man. All right, let me get a sip of this, and we will get it, baby. All right, we got 16 of you voted on this thing. All right, well, maybe we should end this poll here, and we could start a new poll up. Okay, so 12% said yes, we hit a bottom. 88% said that no, there's more pain to come. And you know, I'd have to agree, just out of my inclination. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen, but I'd have to agree with the majority here and say that there is more pain to come. Now, I would love to say that that was it, you know, but we broke below a 50-day moving average, so we need to find an area of support, you know, and I think we do have some more pain to come. Hopefully, it's not too much. So I have to agree with the majority on this one at 87%, but I think we need to Mayos. Okay, Mayos, I believe. Let's start a new poll. How to say your name. What should the next poll be? Let's see. Will there be rotation into small caps? All right. Let's see if you guys think the same thing as I do. Let's see. MAB. I can't spell. All right. All right, here we go, guys. The question now up is, will there be rotation into small caps? That's what I want to know. It really, really is a question that you know, I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking one thing, but you might be thinking another. So I really want to know, what do you think here? What do you think? Do you think that we're going to get rotation, or do you think this is just a ploy? Everybody sees the IWM heading higher and they're thinking that this might be the hedge for now, or do you think the money is coming out of the Mag 7 and people are not fearing a recession and they're putting their money in the IWM and they're adjusting their money, and that's why we're seeing such a pullback? And then after they get their money adjusted, that the market will head back up higher? Or is this all a ploy? Do you think they're all pulling their money out of it? And the IWM seems to be going higher, but it's just going to fail. So either yes, we're going to see rotation into small caps, or no, you don't think so. Or if you just want to see what the poll says, just click maybe so. That's a-okay too. All right, and now I think what we can do here, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your watch list. We're going to go through each and every one that we have on. FBI, open up! Oh, shit. We're going to go through each and every one of your tickers. I will be sure to get through each and every one of your tickers. So if you have posted your ticker in here and I haven't went over it already, I promise to go through it. We're going to see what we got, what you're looking at, and if I like it, I might not like it, and I'm going I'm going to tell you how it is, baby. I'm going to tell you how it is. All right. Let me make sure. So I'm going to start here where Holy Diver came in, or right where Nalani said Google, and I'm going to head on down. But let's see. No, we'll start with more wealth. So he wanted to take a look at XBI. So XBI is the biotech. So we know that biotechs have been hot, and I link biotechs with healthcare, which is also XLV. Now, these are the ETFs. So if you guys aren't aware of what an ETF is, it's taking everything in that sector and it's making it a collage, okay? So when you look at XLB, we're looking at all of the biotechs, right? All of the, oh, I'm sorry, XBI, sorry guys. We're looking at all the biotechs. So XBI is the retail, or I'm sorry, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. It's the trust fund, the ETF. Thank you. I'm thanking myself. It's the ETF, guys. So when you're looking at a biotech ETF, it's your collage. And why do we look at these? Because we want to see that the sector is hot. If you're looking at getting into a biotech, you don't want to be in a biotech if the sector looks like garbage, right? So right here, you can see XBI is doing very, very well. We actually have a cup, and it's starting to form this handle here now. So if it can break out of this area, you're gonna see biotechs continue much, much higher. Also, those biocaps paired with small caps actually doing really well. We're starting to see a lot of biotechs take off in your small cap gappers. Now, if you're not aware what a small cap gapper is, it's where a low float or a market cap that is very small that can move very, very fast. We're starting to see a lot of these take off. We've seen quite a few of them today, and I'm sure we're going to see quite a few of these in the very near future. So if you aren't having your eye on biotechs, keep an eye on them, but always know that there's inherent risk with those biotechs. When you're looking at a biotech, at any given time, they can dilute the shareholders because the only way they really make money in these biotechs is from you and I putting money into it and them extracting that liquidity from the market into cold, hard cash, okay? So be very, very careful with biotechs, but yes, XLB is looking really, really good. So let's keep on keeping on here. Let's see what we got. Small caps for the win, baby. Till you have a milli, yeah, baby. We're gonna make a milli. I almost looked up IKR, but that means I know, right? Nice job, Dan Bob. GTN keeps going higher and higher. So Michael Anthony says it keeps going higher and higher. Well, I'm going to tell you a little something on GTN. It has a very low RS rating of 21. It does have an ADR above 4%, so it's a quicker mover. My issue with it is we don't have new higher lows. We have an R. So you got to understand with RS, the RS means relative strength, and we're comparing that to the overall market. So why do we want to have a high RS? Because if the market starts to pull back, a lot of times these will pull back with it. Now you can see here GTN is actually holding off pretty well. This thing is actually starting to head higher. So it is going against the grain. Now, I like to see a lot stronger relative strength in 21. So it has some relative strength, but it doesn't have enough for me to want to get into it. Also, my other inclination is that we're below a declining 200-day moving average. So this is a very weak stock. This isn't something I would generally want to be in because it's on this overall downtrend. You can see it's clearly in a downtrend. We look for stage twos. We look for stocks that are actually already moving up and making new lower highs. You can see this has a low, but it doesn't have a new lower high anywhere here. It's making new lower lows. I can point them out here for you. Here's a low, and it broke that low very recently, and it made another new low, and then it broke that low, and it made another new low. So what we want to see is this thing come up, and I'll just paint it for you. Before I even look at this thing, I'd want to see it come up, come back down, trade sideways, make new higher lows here, and then burst out on volume, okay? We want to see a big burst on volume and then for this thing to go higher before I even decide to take a look at it, okay? It needs to prove itself to me, Michael. It needs to prove itself to me. Michael Anthony also says tech is the most overbought sector, which will keep selling off tomorrow. You know, I got to agree with that. Tech is XLT, I believe. No, let me take a look. hang on, bear with me, baby. I mean, we could just look at the QQQs, right? I mean, that's the tech. It's going to look the same as the ETF. So the QQQs, you can see it went higher with us. It started the bear market or started the pullback. And you can see, yes, it is selling off. It's selling off hard and fast. The question is, where is it going to find some support? Now, I do have an anchored VWAP off of the lowest of the low after this big cup with handle. And that anchored VWAP showed very good support off this 413. So if we use Shannon's anchored VWAP, this would be the anchored VWAP handoff right here, and we'd put a new anchored VWAP here, and look at this. It comes right up to this area. If we break this area, I think the next area of support isn't going to be until we at least get down, I would say at least 446, or we could go all the way down to 427. So do you think this anchored VWAP holds? I don't know. We'll see. If not, we're heading lower, folks. We're going to head lower, okay? So yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Michael Anthony. I could definitely see us heading lower if we break that anchored VWAP. Let's see, Moaz, yeah, baby. All right, we got LB. So we're going to go through Covey's watch list really quick. Oh, goodness gracious. You know what I like, baby. You know what I like. Oh, my gosh. If this thing can break this area, you know what it is already. It's that rip tater chip, baby. You know this is exactly what I like. Woo! This is blessing my sweet, sweet eyeballs, baby. My sweet, sweet eyeballs. Look at that beautiful, beautiful stock. Oh my goodness. I really like LB, and this is definitely going on my watch list. I need to make a whole new watch list. We're going to create a whole new watch list because I have a feeling user friendly. No, I'm just going to do user. All right, so here we go. We're going to add LB. All right, let's take a look at that. Now, why do I like this one? First, it's a newer IPO. We love new IPOs, especially because NNE made me some money, okay? So when we see these new IPOs, we like to see them because they have huge potential. Also, my friend, your friend, RIP, William O'Neill talks about those IPOs and how amazing those stocks can be when they get to ripping, okay? So LB, a land bridge company, is absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at this. It's real estate development as well. So real estate development, obviously people are paying some good money right now for that real estate. Let's see what else we got here for Covey. We got HYLN. Let's take a little peeky gander. Wow, we got some things setting up, do we? Look at this beautiful stock as well. And if you guys don't see it, we like these high, tight flags. Now this thing could obviously use a few more J's just like the other one. And I think we got plenty of time to let it give. But we get a big break up here on higher volume, a pullback. It starts surfing this 10-day moving average and it's starting to get tight. That is going to get added to the watch list. Not to mention, guys, what we have here is a high RS rating. Okay, meaning as the overall market is pulling back, this thing says, hold my flippin' beer, we are heading higher. Also, the ADR percentage is almost at 9%. This can make your money, baby. This can make your money. And right now, it's getting tighter as we are as tight as 8%. So this thing needs to get tighter. I think this needs to get tighter. We need to see at least an inside day on this, but very good eye, Covey. This is why I love having you here, buddy, because I did not have that much time, and here you are just giving me gold, baby. So we got EVGO. So I believe this is specialty stores. What are they? Engages in the provincial electric vehicle charging station. So EVGO, there was another electric charging station that was on my list the other day that was looking really, really good. Was it AVG, I think, actually? I think it was. Yeah. No, AUG. AUG, I think, was on my list. Let me bring up my... Let me see. I want to see, because there was another one, and if we start to see those get hot... Oh, AUR. AUR is what it was. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. So EVGO and AUR, they're both ones that are starting to get tight here. This had the undercut and rally. So let's do AUR. We're going to put that one on there. This one also is in the development of hardware and software. So there's a lot surrounding that electric vehicle crap, but yet Tesla is heading lower. So it's interesting to see these actually hold up. So EVGO, let's go back and take a look, as that is part of the specialty retail stores where it has the charging surfaces, the charging station services for electric vehicles. Now, I don't care for this one nearly as much. You can see we did get a break of that trend, not on too much higher volume, but we might have a little bit more time for this thing to set up. Maybe have a couple more tight days here and it might pose something. So I'm gonna throw this on the watch list, even though it is not my favorite, but still, it's good to keep an eye on this, especially because we're seeing more than one start to set up here. And don't worry guys, I will make sure I get to each and every stock. If you put it on here, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. And also, Dan Bob, thank you for pointing that out. AUR has earnings on the 31st. Next up, we also have another one from Covey. Let's see what it was. Boop, 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 boop. Gotta find it. There are so many in here. We're doing good, guys. Oh yeah, DHAI. Let's take a little peek. DHAI, yeah, I had this on my watch list as well, Covey. I'm glad that we're watching the same things. It's holding a 21-day moving average. I was hoping it would hold this 10-day. It did get really, really tight on this day, and I was really hoping for it. But as you know, I was hands-off this day on these type of breakouts just because of that overall market. Now, we're still going to allow to give this some time because this 21-day moving average is still holding out well. So if this thing can hold this area, we might have a nice tasty little treat if the overall market starts to turn around in this area. So we'll keep this on our watch list too. I like it a lot. Let's see what else we got from the old Covey bot. HUMA. What is HUMA? HUMA, Health Technology and Biotech. So I had this one on my watch list too. We had a breakout on this, but I decided against it once again just because of the overall market. I don't really care for this one. It's not nearly as clean. It's not as clean. But I see the cup, I see the handle, I see it starting. If we can get really tight here with the 10-day catching up, I could see that being a trade, but this is definitely not my favorite. What else we got? Big Dow. We got KOSS. I think a couple of you watching KOSS. Let's take a little peek. Oh, look who wrote all over this. Me. Let's look. Let's see how close I got. Maybe I can stretch this out so it looks closer. So I remember we were talking about it right here, guys. Everybody was saying, what do you think about costs? What do you think about costs? Well, look what I drew out here. This is what I expected to happen, okay? And look, we're almost to the end there. Now, we didn't get this coming up and touching this area and coming back down. It just kind of is trading straight sideways here. So we're not getting too much action out of this. This isn't the best looking type of look here. So let's just take a look. Let's try and get a little bit cleaner setup on this, okay? So what if we look at something kind of like this? Maybe like that, you know? Now, we also have some anchored VWAP pulls from this. So we know we have some resistance to that 1212 because this was the biggest traded volume day. So if we pull an anchored VWAP, it's going to tell us where most of those people are bag holding. We'll have to get through that $12 for sure in order to take off. That's why I would have much rather seen there be some volatility and it heading back up higher here like this, because every time we would come up there, it would sell off, and it would come up here and it would sell off into it and sell off into it. That way we could have that volume clear out, but we're not seeing that here. So if we do get a pop, this might be a pop and drop with a fake breakout. So be very careful with KOSS, but we'll put it on the watch list just for reference. All right, what else do we got on this list? I think we got through Covey's. What else we got, guys? Let me catch up on chat to make sure. We got Jolene. We have a new Facebook join. Yeah, okay. Mo Wealth says, hang on, be Stu. Already up that. Let me make sure I'm all caught up on chat. Small trend break on that one. Okay, so you guys are just talking shit. Okay, can't find RS rating on stocks to save my life. Yeah, you gotta set up. You have to set it up in the trader view. And guys, if you're not aware, take a look at my screen really quick. Check this out. Okay, you can figure out this whole trading view if you just go right here on this trading view. He posts this trading view for you. Okay, and we have a way we can show you to set it up. You click on indicators, we show you exactly what to look it up. You got to take the time out. You have to figure out how to set these up. You have to put the RS rating on there. It's very, very important to know the strength in the overall market. You'll go to indicators, you'll set up your indicators. You have to do this, guys. So download that TradingView app. It's right here. You need to make sure that you're using my link because I don't ask of anything except for use this link. So that way, if you do decide to sign up, we get a little kickback from it. I make a little bit of money for all this hard work that I put in. So do that and vote on the poll if you guys haven't already. Are we going to have rotation in small caps? That's the real question here. Are we going to have rotation in small caps? We got 69% of you saying yes. We have 12% saying no, and 20% say maybe so. 20%, maybe so, baby. Maybe so. Okay, let's see what else we got. I want to make sure we get everybody on here. Okay, we got GTN, we got Covies, great to hear. Okay, we got AKRO. It looks like AKRO, it is setting up pretty nicely. I have a feeling that you're probably having an anchored VWAP off of something like this here. I could definitely see this being some type of trade, as this might be a base breakout. So that might be nice. With an RS rating close to 90 and average daily range almost 5%. This is a therapeutic stock, so it's in a hot sector. This could be a nice trade. I much rather see like a trend, but this base, it's not as clean as I want to see it, but this is definitely a good one. AKRO. I'll throw this on the watch list for our Discord. So very nice on that one. Let's see, AIOT. Let's take a little peeky gander. Okay, so I don't care for this one because we're just kind of chopping around. We're stuck in a range here. We're not actually showing any kind of proof of concept. No real new lower highs. No definite new lower highs. We just have lows and new lower lows. We have the RS rating, we have the ADR, but we're not getting any kind of real guidance as to where we're at. It's just trading sideways here, so I don't care for that one. Let's see. We have COGT. Let's take a little peeky gander here. This one's the same. We're just kind of trading sideways. We are following this 50-day moving average. That's nice. And it's kind of got this basing top right here. It's not the cleanest thing that I've seen out there, but it is a biotech, so this might show fruitful in the very near future. We do have some overhead resistance up here, but if this thing can break above that 925, I can see where you're going with this. I can see where this is going. All right, let's take another peek. We got ADV. ADV's riding that 200-day moving average, but we got overhead resistance. It's not really doing much. We got a big push of volume here, but this is a volume anomaly. Huge volume here. Nothing really there to really bring it up higher, right? When you see big volume like this, you should see big movement. When you see volume anomalies like that, that shows me that there's somebody really selling off into this. Now it's pushed higher and it's pulled back on much less volume, so I don't really care for this stock. It doesn't have that eye-catching look that I like to see, but obviously it could do something. I don't know. BETR, let's take a look at it. BETR, what is going on? Got it really wonky on me. RS rating of 22, higher than average daily range. Look at this thing though. This is just a really beat down stock, so not really knowing why you want to look at this thing. I mean, I get that it's popped up here, but I'm not seeing much in it, so I'm just going to skip this one. BTE, let's take a peeky gander. Yeah, and BTE too, we got a low here and a new higher low. We got plenty of resistance overhead, so I don't know what's going to happen here. Earnings just came out. It didn't do much at all. So this has got plenty of proving to do as it's just kind of stuck in a channel. So just trading sideways on this. All right. Is it pronounced Maz? Actually, he said how to pronounce it. It's Mayaz. Mayaz? Yeah, Mayaz. Oh, there it is. Cost and LB. Okay, yeah, you got the same things as Kobe. Yeah, LB is beautiful, dude. LB is beautiful. Let's see what else we got. I'm clicking maybe because I have no idea what that means. Well, I can explain rotation. So rotation is where you got plenty of money flowing into the market, as you've seen into the Mag 7 stocks, which is held in the S&P 500, and you're And what'll happen is if we're getting money taken out of the market or out of the S&P 500 or out of those mag stocks, as we went through them, they're all pulling down. Well, as they're coming down, the IWM is still rising up higher, or at least holding all of its gains, which tells us that we might see more rotation, money coming out of one area and going into another. So that's why we had that pull up. So. And it's totally fine to say maybe. Let's say okay. All right, where are we at? Nalani retracted a statement. Message retracted. Uh-oh. He's in trouble. Let's see here. Small and mid caps. I like DHAI for potential trend break. And if cost breaks and holds 10-day for a few days. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see here. Dan Bob's got the trading view up. Wow, I'm catching up. Hold up, guys. I promise I'll get to you. Let me get a sip. Let me get a sip, Shawana, baby. That was good. All right. Darn Yankee, can you see it on David's screen? Oh, yeah. You still trying to figure out the RS, bro? Let's see. I can't find the RS rating on stocks to save my life after watching the setup video. Even tried to Google the... You know what? You need to go to the daily. Click on the daily, and then you need to zoom out. So see, I'm on the daily, and then I zoom out. The RS is usually well below if you're in a shit stock, okay? So this is an RS rating of 69, okay? So keep that in mind. You need to be on the daily, and you need to pan out. You need to zoom way out because the RS rating is usually well below where that stock is. So that is where, I guarantee, Yankee, that's your problem. That's your problem there. Yeah, DHAI. It looks like we're all watching DHAI, so that's looking good. We also have IBD. Oh, it's an IBD thing? It's an IBD thing. You wouldn't understand. Let's see. Michael, are you saying GTN going lower when it looks like a breakout? So I didn't say that at all, okay? What I'm saying is this isn't a stock that I would watch, Michael. So I don't know if you're still with us, but let me explain this to you. You can see that we have this humongous downtrend, right? Humongous downtrend that I pointed out last week for you. I'm going to go over it right now for you, Michael. So pay attention. I'm not telling you that this is going to go down. I'm not telling you that this is going to go up. What I'm telling you is I will not have this on my watch list for multiple reasons. One, it does not have a relative strength rating, okay? It's not saying that it's strong compared to the overall market. I'm only in strong stocks. Also, it's below a 200-day moving average, which my grandmother always told me nothing good happens below a 200-day moving average. So I definitely will not be taking this because of just those two reasons. But to add on to my thesis, we are in a long downtrend. This thing has constantly been heading down since February of 2022. So over a year now, this thing has been, well, actually 2022, we're in 2024, so over a year and a half. Now this thing has been heading down. Every time it comes up, it heads down. Comes up, heads down, comes up, head down, come up, head down, up, down, and now it's going back up, okay? So if it breaks out here, okay, if it breaks out here and pulls back, so let me draw this out for you. I'll tell you when I'll start looking at it. If it breaks out here and heads up on much higher volume and then starts to pull back and then does something like this, and forms a new base right here, that's when I would look at this thing, because not only then it's going to show new higher lows rather than new lower lows, but it'll show a new relative strength rating compared to the overall market. It'll have a pullback, hopefully surfing a moving average, because right now it's below all of its moving averages, or if it isn't, it's just above that 50 now. It's just starting to show proof of concept, okay? So I'm not saying that it's not going to go higher. It might go higher. It looks like it has a potential break of this area. But what I'm saying is I don't care to be in the stock because I don't trust it personally. Okay, so this thing might go higher, Michael. It really could. But I see many other stocks, like let's take AUR for example. I rather see this thing go higher because we actually have this big push high on volume, a pullback, and it's getting tighter. Or LB, for example, where we push up higher during a pullback in the overall market and it gets tighter. And guess what? There is no overhead resistance here, okay? Zero overhead resistance to stop this thing from going higher. Where if you look at GTN, Well, guess what? When this thing starts to go higher, you got people right here that are stuck in this trade that want to sell into you. And if you get above those guys, there's people right here that are stuck in this trade and want to sell into you. Okay? And if we go out and out and out and out, no matter how high this goes, there is people in this that are still selling into you. And it becomes this phenomenon where, like, if you look at TLRY, every time TLRY gets a pop, it heads lower. A pop, it heads lower. Why does this happen? And you can even look all the way here where we're down to $2.97. And people say, this thing can't go any lower. It just can't, right? So right here, it starts to come up. And I watched this. Everybody said, oh, you know, till right here it goes. It's going to go higher. Well, why the hell would you think it's going to go higher when if we keep zooming out, it's on this permanent downtrend, right? So even if it does go higher, there's plenty of other stocks to look at that you can actually have a little bit more trust in. So I know I had a long rant, and Michael, I hope you listened to all of it, and I hope you learned a little something. I'm not saying your GTN is not going to go higher. This thing might go to 1,000 tomorrow. I don't know. All I know is it's not a stock for me, and it's not a stock for anybody in the Discord to watch, because there's better other stocks out there, and with a market pulling back, we don't want to look at shit stocks like this. All right? All right, to carry on, let's go. Which new AU? Oh, yeah, okay, so AUR has earnings on the 31st. Thank you, Dan Bob. Guys, remember, we do not get into any stock that has earnings coming up, and this has a stock on earnings on the 31st. Of course, we can play after earnings. Hopefully, we get some episodic pivots coming up. Let's see here. We got Yankee AUR scared the hell out of me today. What? Why are you in AUR, dude? But yeah, this is an undercut, and then it rallied back up, which actually is a sign of strength if it can continue to hold, okay? Let's see. SGMO, Zell said. SGMO. Let's take a little peeky gander. Zell, glad to see you're with us, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so when we look at when we look at SGMO, I look at this daily right away, and you know, all I'm seeing is a pop on volume. So I'm gonna have to zoom in here on the hourly to see what's going on here. And we get this pop and this retracement. Now, when it pops up. Let me see if I can do this right. Well, come on now. It pops up. We're up 125%, and then it sold all the way down here to 31%. So over half of its gains. It's back up here at 71%. So it's still under. Well, close to half of its gains. So this thing still has a lot of proving to do. We could look at it on the 5-minute if we really wanted to get tasty. I see, you know, it's basing out right here. So, you might have a trade in this, but it's not something that I'm really looking at right now. It is in a hot sector, so we'll see what happens with this trade. But, I much rather see this thing pop up on volume, pull back and hold more than 50% of its gains, and then show like a base or a trend start to form. So I don't really care for the stock, but I'm not saying it can't go, it can't work. So maybe you keep this on your watch list and keep an eye on it. Let us know, Zell, what happens with that. Let's continue on. What's a good resource for learning anchored VWAP? Me, baby, me. Actually, Brian Shannon. We actually have the book in our resources for absolutely. Actually, I don't think I could say that on air, so we'll talk in Discord for sure. Let's see what else we got. RVMD, let's take a little peek. Okay, RVMD, I'm not going to look at this thing. It's just failing. It's below a declining 200-day moving average, below all of its other moving averages, and it's sitting right here at its all-time low. So that's a falling knife, and I don't mess with that. Let's see, NRBO. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I was on the daily. I forgot we zoomed in. NRBO, no, it's below all of its moving averages, sitting on the 200-day moving average. RVMD, sorry, B Stewie, let me go back to this. Okay. That's why you want to get off the hourly. We got a base. We got a base setting up here at the top. I like that base. We'll set an alert here for sure. Okay. I'm going to set an alert here. It's in a hot sector, so this thing could do good. And we'll throw this up on the watch list. I would like to see a couple more tight days, obviously, in this thing. It's still kind of like just stuck in this area. If it could maybe follow this 10-day moving average and get even tighter under this $48, if we can break out above that on volume, I would like to be able to be there to take a little something. Hang on, Michael, I'm almost there. Let's see, Diver, is it just me or volume is really low? Is it low? Turn me up, baby. Turn down for what? Dan Bob says MDWD. MDWD. I got that on my watch list as well, it looks like. Let's see. Let's see here. It is. Is the volume low, Troy? Is the volume low? That's not good. I gotta figure that out, don't we? I wonder how we can get that fixed, but we'll work on that in just a minute. Let me finish up the show here. And let's see. MDWD, we'll definitely keep this on the watch list. MDWD. So that's looking good. We got a nice base here at this $21 area. I'd like to see this thing get to ripping. That would be beautiful. It's also in the health technology, which is a very good area. And if we can get up and start continuing to ride this 10-day moving average and get tight before the base breakout, that would be good too. So I like that. And let's see, sounds good on my end. B. Stewie says he's good. Dan Bob says he's good. It's y'all problem, man. It's y'all problem. Turn me up. Turn down for what? Come on now. Turn me up, baby. Michael Anthony says, what? Okay, we went over it. Grandma made good cookies. Yeah, baby. Yankee says, I've noticed that there's a lot of stocks that majorly drop off around February, March. Was that because of COVID? Of 2021? Yeah. They dropped off and then they pop right back up. So hang on. We'll just let me just show you. So if you look at the S&P 500 and we zoom all the way out here, you can see the COVID lows were right here. COVID right here was February of 2020, okay? It had a huge drop-off, and then we started to print monetary policy. Old Papa Powell came out with that money printer and used his monetary policy to the Americans' advantage and started printing money like crazy. Then around, let's see, March into July, October, December, and then January 2021, we were already in a confirmed uptrend as we continued higher. So yes, 2020, we fell off the face of the earth, but right around March and April, everything started to come back up. We had a huge pullback and because of the pandemic. So if you're talking about February and 20 and then a pop back up somewhere around April, yes, that is exactly why. So February, March of 2021, that was, this was the bear market that you're looking at. So February, no, you're talking January, February 2021. Let's look at it. February 2021. You know, that was probably the sector. So it depends on what sector you were looking at, but no, we didn't have any major corrections there. If you're seeing a pullback in that area, look at the sector, figure out why. Let's see. RVMD has earnings 8.6. Ooh, we got to be careful with that. That's coming up really quick, Beef Stewie. Michael Anthony says GTN going to six. He was thinking that GTN is going to 668. Yeah, I totally understand that, brother. And I could see that probably happening. You know, when it. So if we're sitting at 627 and you're thinking it's going to go to 668, yeah. I mean, if you're into those, if you're into small movements and the you know the day trading or you know just you know a couple days trade, you definitely could. I mean, it definitely could. It's just not my type of stock. It's not what I like giving too much attention to. So it looks like so you're saying MDWD has no volume? Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have any volume. We would need to see volume to play this. So when we watch stocks that don't have much volume, so this one only has 289,000 shares trade. The volume today was only 59,000. It's not liquid. So when we get a breakout, we need to see much, much higher volume to show us that it's ready and raring to go. Okay, so do keep that in mind, guys. When you're looking at these things, you definitely need to have volume. So it's only on the watch list to see if volume starts to ramp up. We can see we got a huge bout of volume, a huge sell-off, and then it just traded sideways on no volume. So just keep that in mind. Its market capitalization is only $179 million shares too. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking at these things. Damn Yankee says, last question. What is the difference between RS and RSI? That's a great question. I use RS, I don't use RSI. How about that? So RSI indicator is going to show you, there's a divergence indicator. We could throw this up. So I've seen RSI used multiple times where if it gets above a standard deviation, it will show as an indicator that it is overbought or oversold. So right here, this would say it's oversold. And as you can see here, you can see a big sell-off. And then once we get into oversold territory, it starts to get bought back up and starts to head up higher. Now you can see here in this area, you can see this is an RSI rating where if we break above this area of 70, it's considered overbought. And you can see for 3-4 days, we got overbought. And as it starts to head back down until it gets into the neutral territory. So that is the RSI divergence indicator, or some people just call this RSI. I don't use this. I used to use this just to give me an idea of where you're at. But when you are breaking up higher and you are heading higher on a breakout, you will see stocks that have an RSI that just continuously saying it's oversold, oversold, oversold. And you can see that with, stocks like NVDA when we broke out of this $500 area. If we put the RSI in here, the indicator, you'll see that we get this huge, like look at this. When we broke this $500 area, if you were trying to play this, you would have sold it off here or here, right? Because you're expecting it to come back down. But this thing continued to stay overbought, overbought, overbought. It started to come back down and never got back into this area. Overbought, overbought, overbought. And we're looking for these breakouts. So when I had this up, I would psych myself out by using that RSI indicator, thinking, well, it's overbought, it's got to sell, it's got to sell, it's got to sell. It never sold, right? It never sold. So if you stayed short here, or if you decided to sell your stocks here, you missed out on the meat of the move. So I don't use RSI. I only look at RS, the relative strength. I want to know what's strong, and then I use price action to tell me when to get in and when to exit a trade. LZB, since earnings from a few weeks ago, has been climbing. Let's take a look at LZB. I haven't heard of that one yet. All right, if we zoom out here, we see an RS rating of 87. That's all right, but the average daily range is under 4%. We want to at least have on our stocks average daily ratings of over 4%, because we could see these things move much higher, much faster. I like over 10% because these things really get to moving. As you can see, the stocks that we were looking at here, the LB, much higher average daily range. It's not showing it. This one's 9%, AUR's 9%, AVGO 10%, DHI 7%, HUMA 11%, KOSS 29%, where if you're looking at something like LZB, it's much slower. You're not going to make millions trading this. So if you get in and you spend a lot of your capital holding on to 100 shares at $42, you got $4,200 stuck in this trade. And if it moves up its average daily range, you're only going to make $2 on this stock, and that's going to take, 2 days to get there. Let's see if it moves up from here and moves up 2%. Yeah, it's going to take a full day to get you $1 on your stock, or if you're playing something else. Now, aside from that, so if you don't mind being in something that's a slower mover, that's a-okay if you want to play a slower mover. Maybe you're a long-term investor. I will say Lazy Boy is definitely looking well. RS rating of 87%, making new lower highs here. This is a beautiful sign for Lazy Boy, as we have a low here, a new lower high sitting here, and now it's forming what looks to be the third new lower high, riding a 10-day moving average. If it can break out of this area, that would be a great sign. The only thing I would have an issue is this is a consumer discretionary, not a consumer staple. And if we are pulling back in the overall market, a lot of times you'll see these discretionary stocks pull back with it. Now, it is not pulling back with the rest of the discretionary stocks, so this looks like it is stronger in its overall sector. So keep that in mind as well. So I do like LZB, not for me, not for my swing trading account, but if you're looking at something for a long-term trade or something like that, this might be something that you want to have on your watch list. do you think that NVIDIA will hit 100 tomorrow? Well, I tell you this, I don't know. I have no idea. But if we look at NVIDIA and we see the way it's acting right now, I think it has a possibility of, yes, getting to 100. But in one day, not necessarily plausible because its average daily range is $4.15. Today was its biggest moved day we have seen on NVIDIA in a very, very long time, and it moved 8.62%. That's double its ADR, which is very, very rare. So for it to get down to $100, that is going to be close to its average daily range. So it has the possibility of doing that, and especially if it has another outlier day like today, yes, it could definitely get down to that psychological area of $100. But will it? I have no idea. I really don't. But yes, it could. Technically, it could. All right. All right, guys. Well, let me say this. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. If you're new or you're just showing up, watch this. It's recorded. You can go back. You can watch everything. And I want you to be a part of this crew. Join the Discord. We do live meetings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then we do these Discords Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays, guys. So pay attention to that. Make sure you join up. Click that link tree. You can check me out on all platforms. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I love having a show. Eventually, we're going to be doing live trading every morning, so stay tuned for that. And of course, we are always getting bigger and better, and we have so many awesome people. So I'm going to go ahead and see you guys out, and I'll say goodbye to everybody. If you guys want to say goodbye to me, let me play the outro, and then we will bring up the Rip Rip Tater Chip screen, and I will say my goodbyes. Thank you, guys. $1,400 in less than 2 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to end this poll now. Thank you guys so much for voting. It looks like 18 voted on this poll as well. 67 said yes, there's going to be rotation into the small caps. 11% said no, and 22 said no, maybe so. So that's awesome. I do believe the same thing, but I want to say Jimmy Bright, good night. Thank you so much. Yes, we try to keep it upbeat. Sometimes the stocks can be boring, but thank you so much for being here. Troy says, I love that you are running them live now. Troy, I really appreciate that, man. We got 3 live shows a week now, and we're only going to be ramping it up. We're only going to be doing more. We'll be doing more morning shows. We do live trading for you guys. We make sure that we have nothing but all this beautiful stuff going on. And Troy says, hit that like button. Thank you so much, Troy. I really do appreciate everybody's being here. Jolene, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You are awesome. We absolutely love you, Jolene. We love you being a part of this Discord. Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive, was with me today. Thank you so much, Dan. We appreciate everything you do. Beef Stewie, my man, my boy, been here since day one. Thank you so much for being with me. Michael Anthony, thank you for showing up today, man. I think this is your second meeting, and very constructive. I like the different stocks that you're bringing up. I like that we're all kind of getting a little taste of what's going on. Damn Yankee, always coming in with those questions, brother, and I love it. You're learning a lot. You're learning it fast. Make sure you have a little time set aside. Maybe this weekend we can make sure your charts are set up properly. I want to make sure that you're all caught up so that way you don't feel so lost when you're looking at your phone, brother. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, Troy, we got you already. Things are looking good, guys. Holy Diver, if you're still with us, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you being in here. Zell, thank you so much for joining us again today, brother. You seem to be stepping it up, man. We know that everybody that joins in, everybody that's here is here to better themselves. So thank you guys so much for being here. Nalani, if you're still with us, man, thank you so much. Mo Wealth said he was going to be here till the end. I'm calling you out now, Mo Wealth. Are you here till the end? Let me know. I want to see you in the chat down below. Have you made it to the end and did exactly what you said you were going to? Are you a flippin' liar, bro? Tell me. Covey, my man, the myth, the legend. Thank you so much for being here, brother. You know I love when you're here. Thank you so much. Charles Garrett, if you're still here, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with us. I hope you learned a little something. I know I did tonight, so I hope everybody else got a little taste of my own medicine. Michael Brandon Garrett as well, both of you. Yeah, so I think we're all caught up on the chat here. Troy, I see you dropping those laughs. Oh yeah, tier could rebound after the big drop. Michael, we'll have to look at that a little later. But yeah, you guys, yeah, it's good to see you guys. I think I got everybody. Oh, Zell? No, Zell's not a sister. No, no, you gotta click on the picture. Zoom in. Zoom in on that picture. Zell's not a sister, I don't think. But I'm telling you, we do got a lot of ladies in this chat. We really do. We got a ton of ladies in this chat. Nothing but love for the ladies. We really appreciate everybody being here. Yeah, dude, and I say it too. Hola diva. We'll see you guys in the Discord. See you tomorrow morning, guys. Peace. Thank you.